Here we go. 5 standard. Here we go. What do we got? Okay, let's roll with d4 for the win. And now what? Knight f3. And now what? Okay. Actually, we've been here before. We've played one other game, and so far, so much the same here. We played one 5-minuter, and it was in the 5-minute Fanatics. For a second, I was thinking about b4. Let's not do that. Now what? Bishop b2. If you didn't know I was planning bishop b2, you should know that I'm planning it. Knight here? I think I should challenge that knight right away. Or should I? No. I'm going to do this. And maybe next do this. Is that going to work out? Let's see. Knight here. Could take. No, not really. Actually, I think, you know what I'm needing to do? Something like this. I think if I played knight c6, there's like bishop to bishop to f5, and if I capture, the bishop recaptures, and then it's uncomfortable because I'm still in a pin, and there's timely bishop takes knight moves, and then I don't have enough support for this pawn. So right now I'm ready to either push or capture. The dark square bishops are close to being off the board, and I really want to make sure I challenge this knight soon. So let's see how I can make that happen. I do have to be cautious now because maybe the bishop is going to move, and then the rook is going to play to c8, so now we're going to have some structural change, are we not? I don't know if this is the right thing to do, because I think I could access this pawn, or this d5 square pretty soon. We're going to see about that, though. I think rook here, or maybe knight d2. Rook here seems like a good idea. I'm going to try that. Rook here, and then knight d2. Let me try and get rid of this knight. And then my idea is that I want to be able to get to d5 with tempo on the queen. An additional feature with this is that I want to maybe get my bishop out here, but I think we're going to be seeing e4. In fact, it might turn out to be a necessity. We're going to see about that. There's still potential. One way to view this is that there is still potential for what? There's still potential. I'm going to capture with my rook because I want my knight to get to this square. Still potential for a structural change. I don't want to touch this move. I don't want to move this pawn. That knight's going to land there. Here or here? I'm going to go with this. And in fact, I think I have, I'm going to go with the connected pass pawn. I think that could be really strong. Actually, if I obtain the bishop pair, then I just have to be cautious that this knight does not do what? That this knight, and I think I'm going to be having bishop takes. I don't know that I could deal with the knight. Just want to be sure if I have the bishop pair that this knight doesn't find a good home. Fortunately, there is no knight d4 available. So if takes, I always have this. I don't know if there's a way that the knight could access this square then. So I want to, okay, first I think just recapture like this. And then after e4, that's a pretty slick move. So I can't take the knight, or can I? I don't want to do this to support the pawn. I think just coming back home is a good idea. Let's I'm gonna do that. There's no rush. Now I'm threatening to take the knight. So I'll do this next, and then maybe something like f4. Might we see this? The knight's getting ready to blockade. So let me make sure the knight is taken out before it gets to d6. And I'm working on a good versus bad bishop position and also having connected passed pawns. So I'm looking to simplify the position. I'm recognizing that a knight on d6 is going to be quite strong as an excellent blockader of the passed pawn. What's the one line by Tarash? A passed pawn must be blockaded, or treated as if it's a criminal. Maybe this is a good idea. I'm gonna try this actually. And main point here, I want to stay on this diagonal. I think it's got to be very uncomfortable. And let's back up. So now if there's ever a capture, I have this bishop check move as well. I do have to be aware that this bishop could maybe be activated in this manner along this diagonal. And so maybe I could actually play here. I want to try that. Or maybe not. I'm going to do this. Not quite sure why. Actually, I'd like to induce this move, and then I could retreat my queen, and then I don't have to worry about this bishop move as much. I guess I'm also getting ready to win a pawn. Okay, let's come back here now. So, I don't know what exactly I accomplished, but I thought it was a slight improvement. She was just trying to get developed. So I have a little bit of a time edge, a3, b4, or maybe just rook to c1 or something. Maybe queen here could be an idea. Let's do this first. I almost just kind of mouse slipped there. Looking to double and also just this as well. Actually, I have a ton of light square control. It's not by chance. When the bishop I have as the advantage, like the unopposed bishop, my light square bishop, is well, what's going on with that? All the pieces are really trying to get off of the light squares. I think bishop here is a good idea right now. Or actually, I'm on this. So this is pretty uncomfortable. In fact, I think I'm winning material now. Okay, I'm on the rook, but they're on my queen. So now whenever pawns make captures, files change. So what's the new file that has been opened up? It's this one over here. Actually, I could give a check. I think I want to do that. No. I don't want to do that. Do you know why? Does anybody know why I wouldn't want to play my bishop there just yet? It's because the knight could eventually pivot on this square, and in fact, it could pivot there right now. Uh-oh. Are they going to figure it out in time? My queen's unprotected. Oh, that was missed. I think I get it out of this, still keep control over here, and now the light squares. Watch over this square right here. Is there anything tricky? I'm not seeing it. The knight is boxed out by just this pawn alone. I have bishop check. I want to just pivot about on the light squares. And let me do what next? Move quicker. Actually, yeah, let's do this. Actually, I'm going to reroute my pieces a bit. Might be h5. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. I have a bunch of exchanges. Maybe I shouldn't have allowed for that. And have this as an exchange? Oh, there's still knight there again, but I get my rook to f2. Okay, this is working out. f7 is difficult to defend. And I'm on this pawn, actually rook to f5, and I think that's going to be it. Something with h5, maybe h4, h5. Is this leading to mate? Something really close to it. My dark square bishop's going to be there soon. Looking for mates. I think this is still just a one endgame. My opponent has very little time. Let me just make certain of some stuff. I think they're in a knot here. Let me just make sure. What do we have? Queen takes queen and then just box that out? I'm going to go for that. Actually, my king has a fast track to what? Over here on the queen side, right? Over here in this direction. Could just sneak up. Pawn push, I could chase it away with this bishop. And making inroads here. And now the next step is to box this knight back out. And then take the knight, sneak in where? Right here, and then what next? I want to make sure that one of these guys remains as a target. Okay, I could give it check. And now come here, and this was not the best technique, by the way, this final position. Definitely not the best technique. I mean, it was winning in that final position, but there was something more. Those extra pawn moves right there. I should not have allowed those particular pawn moves. There was a much cleaner win. I just wasn't able to figure it out in time. Let me go back. Let's see how there's a way for either one of us to make improvements. Let's see. Something was scaring me around this moment right here when I had to play the... Well, I don't know if I had to, but the Queen C1 move. I don't know. Is there a way to capitalize on that? This was definitely running through my mind here. Is there a way to... Oh, I think right here, actually. After this exchange, and I play my knight here, maybe just actually pushing. And then, after the bishops come off, planting this knight right here. Having to deal, I guess, with the knight on this square, but at the same time, maybe I have to be cautious of this knight on e5 landing on d3. In fact, there might be something like a pawn on e4, the dark square bishops are off, the knight on e5, and something like h5 trying to get the light square bishops off. I think I'd be needing to do h3. But I don't know. I thought that was maybe an interesting idea. Or at the very least, here's another one. In fact, if after h5 threatening an eventual bishop g4, by the way, if you're not able to follow this, this is you're really having to picture right now the following. The dark square bishop's off the board, and this pawn on e4, and this knight now on e5. And what's going to be important is this square for white to be watching out for, because it's an outpost, and black will be having to watch out for a piece getting here in the meantime, which is probably turning out to be quite disruptive. But something tells me that this could be still good for black. Maybe bishop f5, trying to get the bishop maybe first to g4 after h5. And if I am not allowing the bishop g4 move by playing h3, I think bishop f5, and then the bishop is indirectly supporting a knight landing on this square. So that's maybe another direction black could be going in from this point, because I think I stand better now because of this right here. Connected pass pawns, and again, take into account what it is black is looking to do. Blockade square. This queen, this rook, this bishop, none of these guys really like to have to blockade a pass pawn. It's this knight who has who acts as the best piece for that role, because it's not just strictly defensive. You'll note a knight on d6 is actually putting pressure on my own pawn. The queen, definitely not. Rook, that's no good. The bishop, maybe in some instances, but it's the knight trying to get there, so that's what prompted my bishop g4 move. Getting on this diagonal, I think, has to be pretty uncomfortable. I don't know if maybe trying b5 and c4 is a way to go, but anyhow, I thought I stood better once we got into this structure and we were just playing about with our pieces. So those are my main points, pretty much, I think. I don't know. I think it would have been pretty interesting if we worked with that different kind of a pawn structure. Okay, good game, and let's get another one in here.